welcome back to PlayStation's E3 2012 live stream. I want to apologize, Assassin's Creed 3, Liberation, technical difficulties. We're going to hope to get back to that one soon, but the show must go on. We're going to do it live. And in that spirit, I've got an awesome game that's shaping up to be one of my favorite discoveries here at E3 2012, When Vikings Attack. It's coming to PS3 and PS Vita, and I've got the co-directors of Clever Beans, their first title, and it's Martin and Andrew. Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
So
Hi.
tell me a little bit about the inspiration for this game. I mean, where did this idea come from?
We started out really with a lot of prototyping, a lot of fun ideas. What we really wanted to do was make a great party game that you can just play with your mates. You can pick up and play straight away without really spending a lot of time figuring out the controls. So we've got really simple, that's what we're looking at here. The game has both cooperative and competitive modes, like a versus mode, that's what we're looking at here. And the whole point of it is it's just so easy to pick up and play, and that was really the inspiration behind the whole thing, like boiling the controls down to the minimum you need to have fun.
So the basic mechanic here is obviously you're picking up different items and you're fighting it out. Now, if you're playing a single player, you're fighting off hordes of Vikings, unruly Vikings that are running around throwing things back at you.
That's right.
How does that mechanic work? I mean, does the size of your team like sort of dictate what you can pick up?
That's right. The larger your team, the more people you have, the larger the things you can pick up and throw around. And when you just walk into something to pick it up, and you've got just two buttons really, you can play the game with just two buttons. Just like a traditional beat 'em up, you've got an offensive move. You just hit square to throw something at an enemy, and you've also got X button, which is like a dodge. It's like a dash, but you can also catch things that are thrown at you by dashing into them.
A little like a block and a beat 'em up.
A little like a block, yeah.
Now, one of the things that, I picked it up just a couple minutes ago, got my hands on, I immediately was just destroying, I was playing a single player, destroying these Vikings. It reminds me a little bit of almost like bowling a little bit, or I mean, do you get that a lot?
Yeah, we do. It gets compared to a lot of sports, really. Bowling,
it's got compared to dodgeball,
which
is not something that we have.
Very satisfying, the way you sort of have to like almost predict where the enemy group, a cluster of guys is, and try to hurl at them and try to wipe them all out in one hit. Yeah. Very satisfying.
Exactly.
Of course, here, now let's talk about some of these environmental hazards.
Well, as you can see, we've got moving traffic, which is very hazardous to the player. You can actually control the traffic here. If you throw something at the traffic light, it controls the flow of the traffic. That's just one example. We've got warp gates. In some levels, you throw something out one end and it comes back in the other side of the level. We have bouncy signs. We also have, as you can see here, these green bombs, red bombs. They do different things, so there's quite a lot in there.
So very arcadey. Right now you're seeing competitive mode. Let's check out that Vita version too, because it's not just on PS3, it's on PlayStation Vita. Tell us about this Vita version. How does it stack up to the PS3 game?
Well, the Vita version is identical, really. We've designed the game from scratch for both platforms, really. We support a full complement of cross-play features. We support cross-save, so you can play on your PS3, pick up where you left off on your Vita. We also support multiplayer PS3 to Vita, so you can have any combination of two people on one PS3, a couple of Vitas, any combination of all of them.
And it's up to 4 players?
That's right, 4 players, yeah.
And now, you were telling me before, the game runs at 60 frames a second, which is like, I don't know, that's very important to me. I love to see that in a game.
Yeah.
And it runs at full native resolution, right?
On both platforms, that's right. 1080p on PS3 at 60.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really great.
So, we're seeing a competitive mode here. I was playing a little bit of the single player earlier where you're kind of progressing through levels. Tell me about that single player campaign where you're fighting off the Vikings and kind of the variety of environments you go through and kind of how the game ramps up.
Okay, well, it's actually not just single player. That mode we call quest mode. In that mode you can still play, you can play on your own, but you can play with up to 3 other players, so you can have 4 of you go through the levels together, and it kind of works a little bit like an old school kind of brawler like Double Dragon or Final Fight, and you're going to go through a set of environments and clearing all the Vikings out of those, and they go. I mean, a lot of them are set in a town. It's kind of, the game is set in it's kind of a modern day town, but it's a little bit like sort of 70s. It's a nostalgic thing for us. It's a little bit like the town that I grew up in for a start. It's got sort of elements of that. Some places it's a little bit run down, and there's little jokes in there basically that you'll see as you go through the game.
So in the quest mode, you're not just creaming Vikings here. I mean, are there going to be other challenges? Maybe a boss battle or two?
There will be boss battles, yeah, but we'll be talking more about those in the coming months.
Keeping that under lock and key. I don't blame you. The game is a ton of fun.
Right.
What else jumps out at you? I mean, what else would you want to tell somebody who's interested in playing the game?
Well, we have. It's not just the quest mode levels. There's around 15 of those, but there's going to be a whole series of challenges for the more advanced players to get. We also have a whole ton of collectible characters. Some are going to be hidden behind a few clever little puzzles that you have to try and find. So
like a collectible element as well.
Exactly, collectible characters and challenges. There's a lot in there.
Awesome. Have you guys given any thought to how the Platinum Trophy for the game is going to work?
I think, again, that's something we'll be revealing in the coming months.
Oh, okay. Sounds like you got something big in store.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when Vikings Attack coming out this fall?
This fall, yeah, absolutely.
On PS Vita and PS3, on PSN.
Yeah, and it's buy one, get both at the same price.
Buy one, get both. Music to my ears, and I suspect many others as well.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, guys, for stopping by to show off when Vikings Attack.
We'll
be back soon with more E3 Live.